Listen closely. If you stand completely still in the middle of a dead, rusted Eastern European forest, the silence isn't peaceful. It's terrifying. You can hear the distant, hollow howl of a mutated hound packing across the dead grass. You hear the rhythmic Geiger counter slowly picking up speed. And right ahead of you, the air itself seems to bend, shimmer, and ripple violently like hot asphalt. Step an inch too close and that invisible gravity-warping anomaly will rip your limbs off before you can even scream. You are the Marked One, an amnesiac survivor dragged out of a corpse wagon with a single cryptic directive burned into your PDA kill Strelok. But the Zone doesn't care about your mission. The Zone doesn't care about your life. Welcome to Stalker Shadow of Chernobyl. When GSC Game World first dropped the original game back in 2007, it became a legendary milestone for PC survival horror, famous for its unmatched atmosphere and its completely unforgiving difficulty. But for nearly 2 decades, console players in modern rigs had to rely on a mountain of fan-made community mods just to make it playable. That all changed with the launch of the Enhanced Edition. GSC completely overhauled the classic trilogy, baking in advanced global illumination, modern upscaling, and native gamepad support, finally opening the gates of the Exclusion Zone to a whole new generation. The question is this legendary game still good to play in 2026? Shadow of Chernobyl relies on 3 core survival meters that keep you constantly micromanaging your inventory: radiation, bleeding, and hunger. Radiation isn't just a static hazard. You'll wander into a hot zone, your Geiger counter will start screaming, and your health bar will slowly bleed out. To survive, you have to chug irradiated vodka or pop anti-rad drugs. If you get shot or clawed by a mutant, you don't just lose health. You start hemorrhaging. If you don't slap on a bandage immediately, you will literally bleed to death while running to cover. Every few in-game hours, a little fork and spoon icon pops up. Ignore it, and your stamina tanks. Ignore it longer, and you starve. You will spend a hilarious amount of time eating canned diet sausage off the corpses of your enemies just to keep sprinting. The most unique part of Stalker's world is the anomalies. These are localized, invisible, physics-defying death traps scattered across the map. Some will cook you with electricity, others will melt you with acid, and the worst ones will literally lift you into the air and pop you like a balloon. To navigate them, the game gives you an infinite pocket full of metallic bolts. You toss a bolt ahead of you to trigger the anomaly, watch the air distort, and then carefully walk around it. But why risk getting close to these death traps? Because of artifacts. Anomalies spit out strange glowing rocks with supernatural properties. You can equip up to 5 artifacts on your belt, creating a fascinating RPG style build system. But every artifact is a double-edged sword. A piece of slime might accelerate your wound healing by 200%, but it also lowers your resistance to bullet damage. Finding the perfect balance of artifacts is how you passively build your character, since there is no traditional XP or leveling system in this game. Your gear is your level. The inventory system was unique back then. You have a strict 50 kilogram weight limit. If you push past 50 kilograms, your stamina drains rapidly when you run. If you hit 60 kilograms, you literally freeze in place, completely over-encumbered. Because guns lose durability and start jamming mid-fight, you can't just hoard every cool weapon you find. You are constantly playing inventory Tetris, aggressively deciding between carrying extra ammo, life-saving medkits, heavy armor, or valuable artifacts to sell back to traders like Sidorovich. The zone is divided into 18 distinct maps, separated by loading screens, and it acts as a semi-open sandbox. As you explore, you encounter different factions. You've got the regular loners just trying to make a buck, the military who will shoot you on sight, and two massive ideological factions, duty and freedom. You can do jobs for these factions, alter your reputation, and even choose a side. This isn't just window dressing either. Your choices, along with how you interact with certain hidden objectives, directly dictate which of the game's 7 different endings you get. Finally, we have to talk about the secret sauce that makes this game feel so alive. The A-Life engine. GSC Game World programmed an AI system that simulates the life of the zone even when you aren't looking. Mutants run in packs, hunt wildlife, and sleep at night. Bandits raid loner camps dynamically. You will frequently be walking down a bleak, quiet road, only to hear distant gunfire. When you arrive, you'll find a massive emergent battle already happening between soldiers and mutants. You can sit back, wait for the dust to settle, and just loot the corpses. This unpredictability means no 2 playthroughs feel exactly the same, turning the zone from a static video game map into a living, breathing, hostile ecosystem. Most open-world shooters treat the world like a theme park built entirely for you. Enemies wait patiently at outposts for you to arrive, and characters stand still until you talk to them. S.T.A.L.K.E.R threw that rulebook straight into a radioactive fire. The AI simply cross-referenced their paths, decided they hated each other, and went to war. You aren't the main character of this world. You are just another scavenger trying to survive. When you return to a friendly camp after a brutal run, you'll see other stalkers sitting around a campfire playing melancholic tunes on an acoustic guitar, drinking vodka to fight off radiation and trading stories. Every bullet in S.T.A.L.K.E.R behaves with punishing realism. Bullets are affected by gravity, ricochet off metal surfaces, and lose velocity over distance. Combine that with a survival system where you have to constantly manage your hunger, radiation exposure, and bleeding wounds, and every single skirmish becomes a frantic, white-knuckle test of survival. The level design of Shadow of Chernobyl is an absolute masterclass in architectural storytelling. The game maps out massive, desolate, interconnected sandboxes. Every single location feels heavy with history and tragedy. The cordon is the iconic starting area filled with crumbling brick barns, rusted military checkpoints, and rookie stalkers desperately looking for safety. The garbage is a massive, depressing graveyard of rusted cranes, radioactive trucks, and old machinery where bandits constantly ambush desperate scavengers. Agroprom Underground is a dark, subterranean nightmare of flooded corridors and claustrophobic pipes where the game violently transitions from a tactical shooter into pure psychological horror. Pripyat and the power plant is the frozen-in-time ghost city and the literal epicenter of the zone, where the sky turns a sickening crimson, and you are forced to fight through absolute chaos to find the truth. The atmosphere is further amplified by the horrific mutants that stalk these zones. From the invisible cloaking bloodsuckers that mimic your worst nightmares, to the psychic controllers that violently hijack your camera perspective and warp your mind, S.T.A.L.K.E.R creates a feeling of dread that very few games have ever matched. So, what makes the Enhanced Edition worth your time today? This isn't just a lazy upscale. GSC gave the game a massive technical overhaul. The star of the show is the completely reworked lighting and shader engine. The developers implemented advanced global illumination, real-time screen space reflections, and stunning god rays that cut dynamically through the thick, radioactive fog. When an Eastern European thunderstorm rolls in, the new wetness shaders make the muddy roads and concrete bunkers look unbelievably lifelike. For the first time ever, the game features flawless native gamepad support with totally redesigned UI wheels that make inventory management a breeze on a controller. If you're playing on modern consoles, the game runs at a buttery smooth 60 frames per second at upscaled 4K, making the famously janky combat feel tighter, faster, and more responsive than it ever did on PC back in 2007. Let's be completely honest with ourselves for a second. Even with the Enhanced Edition's beautiful facelift, this is still a core game built in the mid-2000s and definitely keeps some of that classic Eastern European jank. Much of the voice acting is delivered in incredibly thick, borderline campy accents, and a vast majority of the side quests are classic fetch this artifact or kill this specific bandit templates. At the beginning of the game, weapon accuracy is intentionally terrible. If you try to fire an old rusted pistol or an AK-47 from a distance, your bullets will fly wildly in every direction, which can deeply frustrate modern players used to lasers on their weapons. While the lighting is beautiful, the underlying geometric models for the terrain and civilian buildings are still quite blocky, reminding you that the game's skeleton is nearly 2 decades old. But despite those minor retro wrinkles, the atmosphere of S.T.A.L.K.E.R remains completely unmatched. In a modern gaming landscape saturated with neon-colored cosmetics, microtransactions, and overly friendly hand-holding, the bleak, lonely desolation of Shadow of Chornobyl is incredibly liberating. It doesn't put an arrow on your screen telling you where to go. It forces you to look at your map, listen to the environment, and rely entirely on your own wits to stay alive. And that is why S.T.A.L.K.E.R Shadow of Chornobyl Enhanced Edition is an absolute triumph. It takes an uncompromising, legendary PC survival classic and gives it exactly the modern polish it needed to remain flawless today. But now I want to hear from my fellow stalkers down in the comments. Did you brave the anomalies back in 2007 with a melting graphics card? Or are you stepping into the Exclusion Zone for the very first time with this new Enhanced Edition? And more importantly, what was your reaction the first time a bloodsucker decloaked right in front of your face? Let me know. If this deep dive into the radioactive heart of Chernobyl gave you a massive rush of survival nostalgia, please smash that like button. It really helps guide our channel through the harsh YouTube algorithm. If you want more in-depth reviews, retrospectives, and looks at the masterpieces that built our gaming history, hit subscribe and ring that notification bell so you never miss an upload. Until next time, keep your bolts handy, check your radiation levels, and get out of here, S.T.A.L.K.E.R.